Hello. Y'all get to stare at my ceiling today. My name is Josie. If you're new to my channel, welcome to 50 Essentials. How are you, loves? I am hoping and intending to get some adults in the chat. This is probably, I don't even know if I've had an 18 plus video, if I've ever done one. But you know what? I said, we ain't doing nothing. We gonna talk about this. Cause people out there, they like to argue about stupid stuff. Like they like to argue just about something. Cause they ain't got nothing to do. I guess. I don't know. But since I um really shouldn't be doing anything important right now and I should be resting, I figured I would strike up this controversial conversation with you. Now, I am American. I grew up in America. I grew up in Western culture. So I know nothing about tradition and arranged marriages and things like that. That's not something I'm privy to, that I'm going to understand on a spiritual level, on any level. Okay, so I'm not even finna claim to be right or wrong about any of it. What works for you works for you, period. And this is more of a curiosity because, I know somebody out there has had this experience where maybe you grew up in a culture or even your religion told you, hey, you need to wait until you're married to engage intimately, right? Those are the words that I'm going to use. So I'm sure that a lot of people, because people like to please and they like to go by the book and follow the rules. I'm sure a lot of people chose to do that. And I'm just wondering if things turned out to be the way that you thought that they would, when it came to your intimacy and what you imagined it would be, not having anything to go off of except for what you see on TV, or if whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you go off of and I'm going to speak from a woman's perspective, because we going to dissect this 20 million ways today. If you're a woman and you're waiting, because usually in these cultures they tell the woman, not the man, but the woman, that she needs to wait until marriage. Okay, she needs to be the virgin. They don't tell the men that. Now, I'm going I'm going to hold space for the people where they do, cuz I ain't got time to be arguing with you. If they do that in your culture, great. Say it in the chat. They make both of them wait, but generally from what I've observed, it's the women that are being told to wait until marriage to engage with a man intimately. And it's kind of hard to not think that that is a setup because as a woman who has had 4 children, okay? 4 of them, 4 whole beings. There's a way you bake a cake. You could bake a cake a million different ways and get a baby. Okay? So here's my deal. This is where I'm at with this. Because everybody has had their first experience, their first time. And if you just separate that from marriage and you think of it as an action or as an activity, right? There are things in your life where you've tried it the first time and you didn't like it. And then maybe you gave it the benefit of the doubt and you tried it the second time and you discovered some things and you changed some things and then you figured out how to like it, right? But then there's some things where you've tried it maybe the third time and you're like, nope, not for me. So when you fixate on one person and you love all of these things about this person, the concept of you growing together and being patient with each other and learning from each other and learning all of the intimate stuff you need to learn, I would I would say that it would only work well if the man is also a virgin. That way y'all both don't know what you're doing and then you both figure out what you like together. But honestly, I don't know. You gonna have to give me some money to sit here and believe that that's how that works for everybody in the book that's being told to wait for marriage, that both the male and the woman are virgins. Nah, usually the guy is not a virgin. So he's already figured out what he likes and what he doesn't like, had practice in this activity. And the woman's supposed to just take it how he gives it and she's supposed to like it. But what if it's uncomfortable? It's weird to me to think that you wait for marriage and then you have your experience with someone who's already had practice and knows what they like. And what if it hurts you, or what if it's like a negative experience, right? See, they know what they like already and they've tried a whole bunch of different things. And this is new to you. So then you can't tell your husband no. You don't want to make him feel whatever, right? Because everything is about the man. And now y'all see why I said, oh, this is a trap. Because literally the math only maths when both people are a virgin. So I really want to know what y'all think about waiting for marriage to be intimate, to engage in those kinds of activities. I'm not out here telling you you should be engaging, with any and everybody and just practicing until you feel like you got it right to your standard. No. Even if you're in a committed relationship, even if you're being courted, I don't know why you would not try to explore or at least talk about what you like and what you don't like, especially if you're dealing with somebody who's had experience and you haven't. Like, are these conversations being had? Like, if you got a man that's experienced and you're not, are they even talking about these things or trying to ease you into it? Or are they even thinking about, you know, how how to even handle you? Because from my personal experiences, a man is either going to chase a virgin or they're going to avoid a virgin at all costs. It's nothing in between. Because it's one of those, either, you know uh, I don't even know, maybe it's the traditional thing, I have no idea, but the reason why they would avoid one is because they're concerned about hurting that person. They don't want the responsibility of teaching and all this and that. You see what I mean? So I'm sitting here like, why do people wait for marriage if they're not signing up to basically take whatever is given? That's it. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's how I see things, but I don't have to see things that way. Y'all can give me a better perspective on this because it just sounds horrible. It sounds like some Color Purple type shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I am just saying. Seems like it's gonna be more focused on the male and that, everything's just focused on the male when you think about marriage. You're waiting on the male to propose and all this and that, and then you're happy that you got picked, and then and then you're in it, and then you realize that all that you imagined is not what it is because you never got to practice or explore, and then you're stuck, and everybody makes you feel bad because you're complaining, and you got this husband that's providing for you and doing all of this stuff, and you're supposed to just be happy, and you're pregnant, and the intimacy wasn't even worth creating a whole baby and your body going through what it went through. At least let it be good. You know what I'm saying? Like and this is where I am right now. Whenever I see the headlines on social media where people are talking about wait for marriage, wait for marriage. And I'm like, yo, if you intend to be a whole that is just, used for procreation, if everything's going to be so just because people change. 100% transparency. It don't matter if you marry somebody 2 days after you met them or 10 years. There is going to be something you don't know about that person because we are constantly evolving every single day. You gonna F around and find out for sure. Period. So don't let nobody judge you, or don't feel some kind of way about your own situation and what you're deciding to do. Everything's an experience and a lesson. You tried it, you don't like it. You try it, you do like it. Whatever. You liked it at first, you don't like it no more. Great. Move along. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I think a lot of different societies have really tried to make something concrete that should not be so concrete because it doesn't give room for the two people to evolve individually and also choose to evolve together. Everything's so stuck. You got to do this way, and this, you this is just, everything is so mandated. And then when stuff goes wrong, the conversation is talking about, well, if you hadn't did this, then this wouldn't have happened. If you could, well, shoot, what do you do when you are not satisfied, when you are displeased, when something is uncomfortable or something is actually hurting you? Do you see what I mean? Like, how do you negate that when when you got all of these rules saying that you're supposed to just do this and be that? No, there's no addendum. You know what I'm saying? Where's the addendum to that? If we're gonna be signing contracts, we need addendums, we need all kinds of things. That marriage license needs to come with a whole stack of statutes and shit. Isn't it funny? The marriage license is one sheet of paper, but divorce is like thick. It's like a whole book. Y'all ever think about that? Man. So yeah, I really, I don't care when you see this. Y'all please tell me in the comments how it works. How it works when it's two people who are inexperienced. How it works when it's the male that's experienced, but the female is not experienced. You know what I mean? Because I know it works for somebody. If you like it, I love it. Because it does work for some people. But I can't imagine that it works for the majority of people. And again, I'm not telling you to go out there and be mixing energies with every and anybody. Like if you're trying to practice, an actual like trade No, that's not what I'm telling you. But again, during the courting process, during the dating process, if you have someone that claims that they're serious about you, are these conversations at least being had? And is that person willing to teach if they're experienced and the other is not? And, how sensitive is that person going to be to your level of experience when things do go down? Because, again, from what I've observed, once a man becomes your husband, a lot of them, especially in other cultures, they switch up on you. They fall into the roles, and there's these expectations, and you're just supposed to get with the program, and that can be scary. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's some women in my travels. I have observed this in the environment. There are some women that are very happy with what they don't know exists. Like, they've never had experiences, and I think that their ignorance is bliss for them, and they're happy with that because they don't even know that there's more to it at all. Okay? Um and these women that I've observed, they're not having conversations about it. It's taboo. It's behind closed doors. It's one of those things that's more of a duty than it is a pleasurable experience. And it's not even really a shared experience. It's more so just like breastfeeding at this point. It's a duty, and it's necessary, and it's something that has to happen, and it's your job to make sure that it happens. So what are they doing to prepare their bodies to not make it a uncomfortable experience? I don't know. Look, check this out. I don't know. This is what my mind does when I see that damn sentence that says wait for marriage, y'all. I'm just like, somebody help me. Because you see what my brain is doing right now, especially since I've been around people that had me kind of cock my head to the side, like, I wonder what life is like, for that person, for those people, because they kind of came off to me like a whole bunch of eighth graders that probably didn't even really know much about, you know, that. And they were just, doing something on a very basic level, and procreating, but there's no other aspects of it to it. It's just, again, this thing that you do for the other person or in order to procreate. It's part of the daily task, like cleaning up. So yeah, it's interesting watching, the confusion and the flaws in our own culture here in the West, but also watching, you know, other cultures elsewhere and wondering, dang, like, how do the women feel? What is it really like? Because I feel like us in the West, even though we're ate up, in a lot of ways, we are ate up, right? But I feel like we know a higher form of pleasure than other cultures. And the only one I can think of, because again, I don't know everything, y'all. I think, Hindu and the Indian culture over there in India with the what do you call it? Uh what why is my train of thought with tantra and stuff like that? I think they're on to something. They've been on to something for like ever, right? But when it comes to like what's actually physically being done, I think that the West does the most. The West be making stuff up as they go, boy. I tell you what. But I don't think that a lot of other cultures are doing the most. You know what I mean? They're not having situations where a couple is ending up at the ER because they were trying something in a peculiar manner. I don't think they're having those emergency room moments as couples where, you know, something got knocked loose, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know. I really can't imagine that happening for especially like in Africa, those kinds of injuries cuz they exist here. They exist here because I don't know. I think that we just bored. We got so much going on here in the West that we're just bored and we start doing stupid stuff. Or we need that much of a release that we have to be extreme with some things, you know? I don't know. It's the stress here. Maybe that's why y'all. Oh my goodness. See, y'all are literally just sitting here listening to me think out loud. But maybe that's why, because life is simpler in other places. Here, it's all about productivity and how much can you fit in every second of the day, you know? And in other places, they don't have to think about so many things or actually do so many things mentally. They don't fill their day up with a whole bunch of stuff, and maybe that's why it's not necessary to do anything outside of missionary Disney level. I don't know, y'all. Oh, maybe I need to travel more. I can only speak for, visiting Africa and being here. I intend to visit India. It would be weird for me as a female though, like if I was a guy, I could go and I could be interviewing people on the streets in other countries, asking them about this kind of stuff. But as a woman, I don't think that that would be acceptable. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna stop rambling off about everything that pops into my brain right now. But please leave your comments and tell me, how it worked. Does it work? Are there adjustments that are made? Do you start off rocky and then you find your groove? What's going on there when you wait for marriage to be intimate, y'all? Let me know. I'm gonna talk to y'all later.